Gee, that's a very impressive story that I heard, which is true story. Okay, place a hand together or bow the head. 人は世間愛欲の中にありて、一人生じ、一人死し、一人去り、一人生きたる。まさに生きて苦楽の地に至り赴くべし。自らこれにあたり、変わるものあることなしと。We are all human beings living in the midst of love and endless greediness. Born alone and die alone. Came alone and will be gone alone. It is indeed. We go forward in the realm of suffering and joy. No one could take over one's place. Each one have to face it and accept it. No one could take over one's life. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you so much. I have never asked my mother nor father to be Buddhist minister. I rather like to do something else. But what Rinpa Bob talked about, those kind of story impacted me. And I don't know why. That is a power made me to be a Buddhist minister. It's very funny, isn't it? Thank you, Rinpa Bob. About time when I am going to take easy and going to be lazy, he always put me out to come to Sacramento. So I get such a tense and lifted my spirit up again. I'm very proud of this Rinpa Bob Oyster and Patty Oyster. It's amazing here, minister's assistant, youth minister's assistant, you know, working together under such thoughtful, kind leader of Rinpa Bob Oyster. Not many ministers could do like this. They rather get rid of those people in altar. Blindly believe altar is only for ordained resident minister and so on. That is very segregated, limited way of thinking. So again, Reverend Bob, you cannot think about retires. Gosh, what are you going to do? You could have time, people allowed you to play golf, allowed you to take vacations. You know that you should understand that. Last night, he and Patty promised me to invite us to the dinner. So I was waited at the front of the restaurant at Hyatt Regency where I'm staying at. Then he called, receptionist at the restaurant, and she looked for us and said, Reverend Bob had emergency and had to drive for Makuragyo bedside service so that reservation will be changed to 7:30. So we waited, extended from 6 to 7:30 and waited for it. Then finally they arrived and apologized and entertained us, which we enjoyed very much. So that I believe he went home around 11. Patty had to get up 6:30 to be here at the Sacramento Buddhist Temple this morning. And she is at Plaza Buddhist Temple at this time. Which means you should understand Reverend Bob is not only playing golf, but doing something behind the people. Working hard, and I hope you could extend your support. Okay? Understand to let him refresh sometime and keep up his spirit. Okay? If the churches and temple of Buddhist churches in America do like this type of movement, even 4 or 5, then it will be changed the movement stream of Buddhist churches in America. You have been showing such a positive example. For you support it. You know that? So I'm very proud of the officers who were installed this morning. I commonly understood there are 3 types of people who associate with church and temple. First one is like you, person who come to service. Secondly, person who extend hand, helps. It's like all the officers, even including a person who were working in the kitchens, clean up the temples and so on. And third type of person is the one who come to watch whether minister are behaving or not. No. Or looking for something to criticize it. So those 3 are fine, healthy. I wonder what kind of person you affiliated with. There are 3 things anyone who associates with me, or I might say anyone who like to, or learning of the Buddhist teaching, there are 3 important things. First one is, don't be too serious. Don't be too serious. Or people kill each other. Talking about love, then kill each other. Don't be too serious. But second is, don't lose your heart, sincerity. If you lose your heart, you just take advantage of it. Third one is, don't lose sense of humor. That helps a lot to open up. Something we could see, something we don't commonly see yet. So don't be too serious. Don't lose your sincerity, and don't lose sense of humor. Okay? At this observing the Bodhi Day service, it is about time you to be enlightened. You know that? You have worked so hard, saved the money, spent the money, ate a lot, and learned a lot, experienced a lot. Isn't it about time that you will be enlightened? Say, wow, yes. I'd like to share one short story and we'll be finished my talk, okay? I cannot help myself to think about that impact, experience into my life in the month of December. When month of December comes, I cannot help myself but to recall one of my experience, which is true story. Okay? I do not lie too much. I lie sometimes, but not too much. This is a true story. This lady called me up and said, I am not a member of San Francisco Buddhist Temple, not your church. But I know you. I have been seeing you at the piano bar in Japanese towns. So I thought, wow, Well, as a matter of fact, Reverend Bob is one of person who used to get together with me at the Japanese piano bars and so on. The bunch of Sansei, third generations, called me up even midnight and saying, hey, Sensei, we are at such a bars. Come on over. I know the most of the people, an owner of the bars and so on. So they always give a discount. Then this lady said, she was almost screaming and said, "My baby is dying. Please come to extend your prayer. Please come to extend your prayer." Why, she said, "I am not your member." So I was, ooh, is that right? Friend at the piano bar. Wow, I've never recalled my name. But knowing that my baby is dying, so I drove up the hospital and stopped at the nurse stations. And nurse said, "We tried our best, whatever we could do. All the technologies are used. It's only your prayer remains." I walk into the intensive care, Gosh. Is anyone here 2 years old? Raise your hand, 2 years old. Yeah, see, that's a baby, 2 years old. She was at intensive care, connected with all lifelines, and heart is beating, small heart is beating. I heard she had some trouble in the heart, a hole in the heart. It's called blue baby. So I extend my prayer. Then when I came out from intensive care, Mom grabbed my arms. I still remember, very strongly, grabbed my arms. And she said, "Do something, Reverend. My baby is dying. Do something. My baby is dying." Gee, that I experienced such a powerless being that I cannot take over or do something. Needed such powerful power to heal the baby's heart. I was quiet. But she said, "Can I take over my baby's place? Can I take over my baby's place?" How many of you can able to say, "Can I take over?" In the exchange your life, Of course, I know you don't say it to your husband nor wife. No. Don't be serious, okay? It's a sense of humor. But mom is amazing. All the children, listen to this. This mom said, "Can I take over my baby's life?" See? That's only mom could say. I really wonder about father, but mom had such a power. Then I excused myself, went back to my office, and worked at the office. And late afternoon, I had a call. And she said, "My baby is dead." 2 years old. So she came to the temple. We made the arrangement for funeral service. Oh, she was nothing but crying. She was born in Hawaii and raised in Hawaii. This mother, Hawaiian in general, very open-minded, aren't they? She didn't care to whatever people say. She cried hard. It was hard to organize even funeral service. Then observing funeral service with about 5 feet casket. And her name was Robin. The girl was, like sleeping in a casket. In such a small size of a casket, 5 feet. And she had teddy bears on the side. I still remember that impacted moment. Even I had a hard time to keep chanting for funeral service. You know that? Mom is nothing but crying. She didn't care whatever people say, crying. Her friend extend love and lamentation. She kept crying. So I told her, which I still think I said good things. I told her, be sure to have Seventh Day Memorial Service up to 49th, which means 7 times, once a week for 7 times up to 49 days. Otherwise, this baby will not be saved. There is no such a terminology that Jodo Shinshu uses, but I had to use it. Prayer, and here, saved. And she remembered that 7 times. Saved. Baby will be saved. Those kind of stuff. So she made all the reservations 7 times, once a week, for 7 weeks, up to 49 days. Oh, she was crying, nothing but crying, at the Seventh Day Memorial Service. But about the 4th, 7th day, about 28 days, isn't it? 4, 5, 7. Then she said, in crying, she said, Sensei, my baby came into my dream in a shining beam like a sunshine. It's amazing light. And she said, Mom, don't cry. Don't cry. You did good enough. In such a limited time, but condensed love that you shared with me. I am so grateful that Mom told me at the 4th, 7th day. Then, as usual, chanted, light the candles, burn incense, chanting, and short talk. Nothing but she would cry. But about 5th, 7th day, which means 35 days, she said, Sensei, something I noticed that I never have come to temple for so many times in my life. Well, she said she is friend of me at the bar, which I don't remember, but she did. So she went to the bar, but not to the church or temple, I believe. First time I ever come to church for so many times. I think baby is the one who taught me to place hands together in gassho. I think baby is the one who taught me to recite Namu Amida Butsu, which I never recited like that. Baby is the one who taught me to bow the head in front of shrine. That meant, she said, is that meant that my baby, Robin, became Amida Buddha, guiding me and enlightening me. At the 7th days, she was still crying. Yet, at the same time, she showed such what should I describe it? Such a joy, not really perfect joy, but appreciations. Baby is the one who are guiding me and enlightening me. So that service at 7th day of 7 times, 49th day, I saw her, she herself renounced, turned around from nothing but sadness to more showing joy and appreciation. So I thought, wow, I heard 49th day, the day to renounce oneself. I was only thinking about deceased one, but living people are able to transcend oneself from sadness to realm of appreciations and respecting her baby as Amida Buddha. You know that? After that, she became a member of San Francisco Buddhist Temple. But she quit later because, my dear friend, board of directors, be careful not to criticize negatively your own ministers in front of people. This lady said, I don't want to hear such criticism of my respective minister. But she came back later and she said, well, that's a world of human being that I accepted and still like to do something for other people. So she still is a member. The another thing to stop my talking is she always invites me and wife and daughter to restaurants in the months of December. Most expensive restaurants, which I kind of hesitate to be invited because everything, the menu is very expensive, which I don't want to let her spend such a money. Then she said, Sensei, there are the things more than money. You should know that. You're a minister. So she started giving me someone like, telling me what I should do. Even she flew, I have to say this one's okay. She was amazing. Other partner, husband, okay, is very quiet man. She is outspoken even today. In contrast, husband is very quiet and calm. Is that because wife talks like that, husband become quiet? Or because husband is quiet, so the wife had to talk like that? Which I don't know, but it was like that. Both of them flew over to Chicago when I was a minister at the Chicago Buddhist Temple, Midwest Buddhist Temple in Chicago, invited us for dinner. Okay? Even coming to Sacramento, I intentionally not to let them know I am here. Otherwise, they would surely come over here and take our day for dinner. It has been 40 years. It was happened 1975, February 2nd. Every year, without missing any year. Every year, she sent us packaged food if we are living here or we are living in the state of Washington. As I said, even they flew over to Chicago. That's what they are. And here, the words of Muryoji Kyo, Immeasurable Life Sutra says, we are living in the midst of love and endless greediness. Born alone, born alone, and surely die alone. If you truly understand, you're born alone and die alone, you'll be more appreciative to someone who is sharing a life. And continues and saying, came alone, will go alone, gone alone, will be gone alone. And it said, it is indeed. We go forward of realm of suffering and joy after my life. That's very questionable spiritual area that you may spend. What does it mean? If you don't understand, keep coming back to this service or attend study class. What does it mean to you? Okay. So That's my sharing, and please place your hand together or bow the head, please. 人は世間愛欲の中にありて、一人生じ、一人死り、一人去り、一人来たる。まさに生きて空楽の地に至り赴くべし、自らこれにあたり変わるものあることなしと。We are living in the midst of love and endless greediness. Born alone and die alone. Came alone, will be gone alone. It is indeed, we go forward to the realm of suffering and joy from this life. 南無阿弥陀仏。南無阿弥陀仏。南無阿弥陀仏。